Evan, who's your theater facilitator, Miss Sedania, Spanish facilitator, Ben, all things history, economics, and government, and myself, your English and senior seminar facilitator. Your job today, first of all, is to smile. You got this. All right. Your job today is to let us know a little bit about yourself, what your plans are for the future, and one artifact from something you've done that shows that you're ready to graduate. You have 10 minutes to do that. We'll ask you some clarifying questions. Then we'll send you into a breakout room and then come back and give you your feedback. Okay, my friend?
All right.
Whenever you're ready, I'm going to spotlight you now. Do you have any questions?
Do you need me to share screens, correct?
Yes, I'm spotlighting you and then you share screens. Are you recording, Miss Sedania, right? I forgot for a minute.
That wants to work for me.
It's working. There you go. I'll mute now.
It won't move back and forth for me. Give me just a second. Okay, there we go. All right. Hi, my name is Braden Sankel, and I will be presenting to you my senior defense and proving in the way that I am ready to graduate. Let's see. All right, about me, my personal mission statement. I wanted to make it to the college of my dreams, which was Texas State University in San Marcos. And at the time, I had a lot ahead of me. So my main question was like, can I keep my head above the water long enough to see my career come to life? Because once I make it into college, was I going to be able to make it very far? I'm a leader in many things, mainly theater and baseball. I'm good at talking to my team as well as my teachers, my peers, various art forms in theater, especially in Commedia dell'arte. That is probably my specialty when it comes to theater. My autobiography, I love playing sports and I love acting. My dream is to go into acting and I want to end up with a big company like Lucasfilms or Marvel, because I love Star Wars, I love the Avengers, and I think that would be something that I could definitely do for the rest of my life. I'm interested in everything Viking related. I love history mainly, but the Viking Age is one of my favorite things. I hope to live in like a nice wooden house in the mountains with a boat and a beautiful family. I don't really like suburban neighborhoods. I like the mountain. I love nature. My favorite saying is, power is only given to those who are prepared to lower themselves to pick it up. It is from a TV show character. He was talking to, it's from a TV show called Vikings, and it was a king talking to his son about how he didn't want to be a king, but when it came to the time, he lowered himself to pick up that power. He made himself go to his lowest point in life, and then he rose right back up. And I kind of like looking at that at life, where you're going to hit your lowest point before you hit your highest point. My goals for the year, well, I wanted to apply to a college for theater. I ended up doing that. I ended up applying to my number 1 and my number 2, and I was going to apply to about 3 more, but they immediately got back to me with their answers, which were both yes. I made it into Texas State University and I made it into Ripon College. My other goal was to pass all my classes with a B or better. I don't like getting B's, and of course, I really don't like getting F's. I liked having C's because it showed that I put forth enough effort to pass in my eyes, but even then, it still felt like a fail to me. So I liked having A's or B's to be more aware of how I react and affect others when interacting with them. I have a very, I guess, stoic nature to my being. And I guess that affects how people feel about me. And I hate making people feel uncomfortable near me. I want people to know that I'm just this big, loud dude who is basically harmless. My senior defense artifact is my IB Theater solo project, The Fall of the Jedi Order. I have the video here. It is, if you click it, it'll play. It is a 7-minute video, so I can't play it during the senior defense. But going into it, oh, and it's playing anyways. What introduction and contextualization? What I was basically tasked to do was create, direct, design, and perform an entire theater piece, all to be performed by one person, which is me. I had to base it off of the theories of a theater practitioner that I have not studied before. So I chose Uta Hagen. I was kind of stuck between another practitioner named Jerzy Grotowski. But my teacher said, I think you would really like Uta Hagen. So I looked into Uta Hagen and I learned that Uta Hagen was a student of Stanislavski. Immediately, I wanted to do Uta Hagen. What were the concepts that I was supposed to learn? I need to learn more about Uta Hagen and her theories. I need to learn what exactly she took away from her lessons to teach. I need to learn more of what I wanted to get out of my performance in the eyes of a director, a performer, and a creator. What were the steps I took to complete the assignment? I did research, I did visualizing. I talked to some of my peers. I got their ideas on what they think I should do. And I had to have patience. I had to have a lot of patience. If I wasn't patient, I was going to rush through it. And if I rushed through it, I wasn't going to get the results that I wanted. How do I define the category above? My solo theater project brought me a lot of understanding. I guess I would define that as a knowledge of what I'm doing or something that I've learned and looked more into. Because you can always see something and go, I get that. Or you could look at something and go, I know that. How does this category relate to my artifact? I had to understand Uta Hagen's theory for theater. Because I never found anything that didn't use like big words. And I needed to understand my choices for my theater piece, and I had to understand the reasoning behind it. Uta Hagen's main theory was realistic acting in an imaginary situation, and also acting with the voice and drawing up memories from a time that you felt a certain way to use that in your acting. So while creating my piece, I had to understand every reason that I made a decision. So if I choose to move my arm in a certain way, I had to have a reason, and I had to understand why that was there. Which iLEAD learner outcome did I demonstrate in this artifact? I think I demonstrated critical thinking. I would define critical thinking as harshly judging myself, as well as digging deep into everything I write. I had to really think a lot of, okay, well, I'm going to make this decision. And then when I look at it, I have to go, well, why am I making that decision? You know, why do I want this? Why do I want it to happen now? You know, why do I want the lights this way? I had to really, really dig deep and think about why I wanted it to be this way. And of course, how does this outcome relate to my artifact? I had to think about everything. Every choice I made, I had to think about why I wanted it to be that way. Applying the knowledge and skills, how does this knowledge and skills I acquire apply to life outside of school? I want to be an actor. I want to go into acting, maybe even starting in theater. And this helps me for my career choice. This also helped sharpen my skills of thinking into depth and noticing the small details. This whole project showed me how to think about just the small little details that would be part of this, because if any of it was to be seen, it could mess up the entire thing. How will the knowledge and skills I acquired help me with my future plans? Well, of course, like I said, I want to be an actor, but I was also thinking of maybe going into directing, maybe a show or a movie, maybe far in the future. My main plan, of course, is to start off as an actor in motion pictures. And this project helps me with giving me those skills. It also prepares me for the projects that I take on in college. I kind of see this as my growth from when I started acting in the Laramie project to now I can create my own theater piece that I feel proud of. My challenge is growth and reflection. My main challenge was trying to figure out how to create this piece while using Uta Hagen's theory. It was not as easy as I thought it would be. I was like, oh, okay, I can make an imaginary thing feel real, but then it gets more difficult than that, because then she also teaches talk with your voice, use less of your body, which is my biggest struggle. I act with my body. I'm the big guy on stage, so of course I use my body a lot. And another one was when you're on stage and you are trying to feel an emotion, think of a memory in which you felt the same way. And that's very difficult because you have to try and not get lost in that memory. And then I didn't have the theater at my own free will to mess around. So I couldn't really experiment with my ideas. Because of COVID, we were restricted to at home, just kind of trying to imagine. Whereas in the theater, I could hang up lights and see where it'll land, see how I think that'll look. I could put up a backdrop and see if that looked perfect. My main strength was having the knowledge and preparation to be a theater creator. And I give most of the credit to Ian Johnston, but Kevin Becker and Cordy Dwyer has helped me prepare for this so much. Because I started theater in my freshman year, and slowly and over time, they gave me the knowledge and they prepared me to be ready for this project. What I feel I could improve on is polishing my acting. I felt when I rewatched the video that I was pretty polished, but I was still a little bit raw in my acting, as well as looking more into creating pieces like this one, but with more knowledge behind it. Of course, I don't know everything. I do not know everything about Uta Hagen and her theories. I do not know everything about acting. So I think when I go into creating more pieces like this, I want to go in with more knowledge. How do I know I'm ready? This artifact, it really shows my growth. When I came in my freshman year, I was terrified to go on the stage, to the point where I dropped out of the first play that I auditioned for and actually got a part for. But my sophomore year, I decided I'll give it another try, and I got into the Laramie project. And of course, my acting was very raw. I did the same movements, I did the same voice. I never switched it up. It shows that I have taken in the information that I need to continue my education. It also shows that I know how to properly execute the skills I have gained. It shows that I know that I can use these, and it shows that I know that I can properly use this and make something great. What skills will help me in the future? Creation, direction, design, and performance. All those will help me in the future, especially if I want to create a show, or if I want to direct a show, or if I want to maybe design one day. But it was definitely helped me with performing at my best. And it has also helped me sharpen my skills in all of them. One aspect of this project that I am most proud of, honestly, I was proud of the work that I put into it. I was also proud of shocking Kevin and Cordy at how well I made this piece. Since it was Star Wars themed, it's very difficult to make it real, mainly because Star Wars is not real, of course. It's a very imaginary thing. My whole project was I am a dude who survived a very big tragedy in the Star Wars universe. So, of course, I'm reliving it, but I'm reliving it as a reality. And I have to somehow make that and feel that, and I have to make it real.
Thank you. Let's stop sharing and I'll remove the spotlight.
There we go.
So thank you. That was very comprehensive there, Braden.
I tried my best.
So tell me a little bit about, now you mentioned both things. So for a while I was like, are you talking about your solo piece or are you talking about your director's notebook? But then in the end you were like connecting both of them. So it was the solo piece that's your artifact, correct?
My IB Theater solo piece is my artifact. I never talked about the director's notebook, but that could get confusing because it's very similar.
You were talking about Uda. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover between the design aspects of the solo project and the
director's notebook.
Definitely, I totally understand that. I'm going to say, like, what aspect about this project do you think that will help you the most when you're in college next year?
I guess showing what I'm capable of. Because if I get to hold on to this and I go in to see just what I'm going to be doing at college, then I could use this as maybe a base reference for maybe a project that I'm doing. Or if a teacher wants to talk about maybe something that I'm very proud of or my best work, I could show them what I feel proud of and what I see as my best work.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it just shows my growth.
Thank you. Does anybody have any? Very thorough. So go ahead, Kevin.
When you're talking about growth, I think that you've touched on it a little bit, but I would love to throw you a hypothetical and see how you can apply. You're in college, you're figuring it out, you've got classes during the day, you're in rehearsals for a production at night, and you're talking about, I want to do my best. I want to know why I'm doing something. What moments or thoughts from this project are you going to bring to that process to be like, okay, I don't want to feed you some answers, but in that hypothetical, what do you think are like the benchmarks or the tent poles of what you did that makes you so proud, which you should be, that you can take with you?
I guess I would start off with, I made Star Wars, a very imaginary thing, into a real piece, into something that wasn't like oh, this is a fairy tale, more of oh, this happened. And I guess writing the script, because it's probably the best thing I've ever written, because I had it history checked, being of canon of Star Wars. And then my performance was probably the best thing I've done, because if I look back on how I did in Laramie Project, I was very raw. I had the same movements, I had the same voice, but in this, I change it up. I play with emotions. In the video, I go down to meditate and I forgot part of my line. So what did I do? I improvised. I continued to meditate. I sat there with my eyes closed while I tried to remember it, and eventually I remember it, and it looked like it was part of the piece. So I think my performance would probably be the best thing to show my growth, as well as writing and then directing and designing where the lights were. because I chose a very simple lighting situation, yet to me, it looked like it was very powerful.
I have a question, Brayden.
Yes.
Can you tell me how did you transfer the skills you learned in this artifact to another class or context? Maybe it's the same as Kevin, but
well, of course, I've used the same skills in my IB theater class, but I think I've also used the like my critical thinking and writing skills that I've gained from this in like my English class. Because normally before I would just write things, double check it and go, all right, and then turn it in. But now I love checking it to make sure that it's right and make sure I get the point across. And I think writing the script for my solo piece really taught me to double check, make sure that I'm getting the point across, make sure that I understand what I'm talking about, make sure that anybody who reads it will know that I understand what I'm talking about.
you are talking in different classes.
Yes. So the skill that I guess I would use is like my writing and editing it and looking at it. The solo project brought that out of me, and now I use that in things like English. Now when I write something, I have to double check it, make sure that anybody who reads it knows that I understand what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Brayden.
Okay, we're gonna put you in a breakout room.
Awesome.
Where am I? Oh, that's the chat. Oh my God, I'm tired. Did we stop the thing? True SCVi style, we are going to lead with our wows and wonders. Our wow is that how comprehensive your presentation was and how organized it was. You dressed professionally. You talked us through the artifacts' importance. It was very well done, Brayden. We wonder when you changed your career from, this is Mrs. Cedeno's questions, when was the point where you changed your career passion from working with animals to theater?
Do you want that answered?
You can answer that if you'd like.
It would, I think late sophomore year when I had to leave the general barn because they kind of went south. Their whole message changed, so I didn't want to be related to that.
Okay. So let's talk about mastery of knowledge. What do you know? We think that this presentation showcases an advanced understanding, demonstration of knowledge, appropriate and consistent evidence. You clearly connected and applies learning from an area study of this application and thoroughly demonstrates evidence of one learner pathway. I think that your presentation could have been stronger. I mean, your narrative was really well, is if you had photos throughout, like in every one of those slides, if you showed a photo and then talked about that section, maybe taking a screenshot of your solo project, just so that we'd have a visual that always work. Metacognitively, you're just advanced in reflection. That was really well reflected. You really, on all levels, from the moment when you started talking about your journey to the paper, and then when you answer the question about how it's going to help you later on. Your presentation skills, I believe, are between proficient and advanced in everything, particularly just with your organization and thesis, your command of your body skills, communicating clearly and effective. But you're a theater major, it should be between proficient and advanced, right? Again, the slides, we felt that, like, because you copied, and here's what I think happened. I think that it was so important for you to make sure you got everything, that you made sure those questions were on every slide, right? That's what I think happened. And you were like, yeah, I'm not even going to mess with this format because I am going to pass this thing. I just from what I know of who you are, Brayden, I think that that's what happened. So you know that, like, with good slides would have, you might not even have the questions, you'd have the bullet points and you talk it through with some kind of visual. You answered and responded to your questions directly, and you used evidence to answer them. So congratulations, you passed your senior defense. Woohoo, I'll stop it here so we can give you some other feedback. I just wanted to tell you, it's been a pleasure getting to know you as a learner. I think I value what you bring to the class. I really enjoy when you add to conversations. I know we spar back and forth, but that's my playfulness when I value learners who who have something to share. It goes back to the kind of student I was and the kind of students I hung out with. I liked sparring with people intellectually. So I am very excited. You made it a goal to go to these colleges, and you're going to one of your top choices. That's amazing. It's been a pleasure, and you have nothing else to do. Are you all done? Is this your final piece?
I believe so.
Woohoo! That's awesome. So congrats.
Thank
Onward
you.
to graduation.
Yeah. I had a question that's other than this, which is, when do you want to meet for editing?
I sent an invitation, didn't I, for you for Monday?
Okay, I'll take a look. I don't
sent
know
one
if
for
I have it.
either Tuesday. I think I sent one for Tuesday and for Thursday, maybe. I don't
Okay.
know. Just take a look. Or Wednesday. Tuesday
All
and
right.
Wednesday.
All right, thank you very much then.
You're welcome.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a nice one.
Just make sure you delete it if I don't pass.
Okay, so welcome to your senior defense. We are your senior defense evaluators. I can't think of a better group of people to evaluate you. You have Miss Cedeno, Kevin, Ben, and myself, and we've been with you for quite some time, so we're looking forward to your presentation. One of the things you need to do today is introduce yourself, your future plans, and then take us through looking at an artifact or some work that you've done since being at SCVi that showcases that you're ready for your next step in life. Okay?
Okay.
You have any questions?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to spotlight you, my friend.
Okay.
And then after, can you make sure you put the link of this in the chat so I can put it in the my keep it for next year?
My leadership notebook?
Mhm.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna mute and you can take it away from here and share your screen.
Okay. So hi, my name's Aiden Keurig, and this is my leadership notebook. So a little about me. In here, you'll find everything about me, from hobbies to pictures, my personal mission statement. You can really find anything Aiden right here. So my personal mission statement was, my mission is to graduate college with my master's degree in physical therapy and open my own clinic. I will do this by pursuing an education and perseverance to achieve my dream. In this journey, I will take on the role as a leader, risk taker, hard worker, friend, and scholar. Here's my self-portrait for my graduation photo. I'm a leader in the soccer field. I'm a leader here because I was the captain and need to lead the team to victory. I was a leader in the classroom because I turn in my work on time, and I try to keep my camera on, and I encourage my classmates to do the same. Wrong way. And here's my autobiography. Some of my favorite things to do is play soccer, watch TV, exercise, hang with friends, and travel. I'm currently a senior in high school. I'm graduating next fall and attending GCU. Go Lopes. I'll be majoring in physical therapy and moving to Phoenix, Arizona. One of my main goals in life is to make good money and have my own physical therapy clinic where I treat fellow athletes and friends. I also hope to travel a lot more and visit my family in Europe. And here's my artifact. So my mission statement was, how will my achievements carry me to the next step in life? And my artifact was the Backpacks Full of Hope service trip to Puerto Rico. Our task was to begin rebuilding the rebuilding of Puerto Rico's ecosystem. We were taught how to work as a team, be selfless, and persevere. We had to wake up every morning very early and either dig dirt to plant trees, make and pour cement, cut glass bottles, and carry and hit tires to make hurricane-proof homes. Oh, hold on, let me show you that picture. So that picture is when we visited it was an abandoned school, and that was really the backpacks part of it, where we brought them different supplies and whatnot. So analysis. I put my artifact in the category of problem solving. I think the problem solving is when any problem is being actively pursued and stopped to benefit someone or something. I think that it relates to my artifact because the people of Puerto Rico have a problem and needed help pursuing and stopping. And we felt that as fellow human beings, their problems were ours as well. As a result, we tried to help and restore their homes and community back to normal. My learner outcome was purpose. I define purpose as something that you're born to do. It is your destiny to fulfill that purpose, whether it be to help others or become a professional sports player. Everyone's life has a purpose. I believe that purpose has to do with my artifact because I also believe that every person is put on this planet to help others. No matter where you are, it is all of our destinies to help others. Real world application. SCVi prepared me for life outside of school by teaching me to be proactive. I used proactivity in Puerto Rico and it helped me a lot. A good example is when I would frequently ask where I am needed for help. That way I wasn't sitting around and slowing others down. Learning to be proactive helped me get into my dream school, get my first apartment, and secure jobs for when I move out. Things that I learned at SCVi will carry on with me for the rest of my life. My reflection. Some challenges that I encountered during my service trip were definitely proactivity. It was hard to constantly be working and there were a lot of times where I wanted to break, but I pushed through. Some strengths that I showed were grit and self-control. I never backed down and worked my hardest until the end of the day. I still need to improve on my proactivity because even though I've practiced it a lot, I still need to work on being more proactive in other things. And then my recap. My artifact shows that I'm ready to graduate because of all the skills I retained from it. For example, the selflessness I learned from it is still retained with me today, and since the trip, I have gained a new love for helping others. Another example is how often I use the trip as a metaphor for hard work. Whenever I'm faced with a challenge, I look at them as trees I need to plant in order to help the planet being me and the trees being problems. It motivates me because I remember how hard it was planting those trees and how many times I thought about giving up, but pushed through and achieved my goal. Skills that I learned from that trip that will help me in the future are grit, self-control, and purpose. Grit will help me because it has taught me to persevere and do the hard work to achieve my long-term goals, like becoming a physical therapist. Self-control has taught me to be patient with lots of things like money and wants. Thanks to self-control, I currently have already started my retirement fund and have $500 in savings. It has also taught me to focus on things like homework before playing video games or seeing friends. Lastly, it has taught me purpose. I now do things not just because I want to, but because there is purpose behind it. Doing this has helped me achieve goals and also create new ones that I'm already working on. And one aspect of the trip that I'm most proud of is the self-growth I made. I feel that I grew so much as a person during that trip, and I'm so grateful of all the skills I learned and how much they have helped me to achieve my dreams and goals. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's remove the spotlight.
And do I stop my share?
You probably want to stop sharing so we have to ask some follow-up questions.
Awesome. And then let me just grab that link for you.
Yeah, throw that in the chat so I can put it on the.
Sure thing. One moment.
Did you put it in there? Maybe you put it in there. No, you didn't.
You link.
Would anybody like to go first with the questions, or? Let me just see if I can find
I can go.
Okay.
Hi, Miss Cedeno.
Hi, Aiden. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for asking. Aiden, what do you think is your greatest strength?
Trend?
Strength.
Oh, strength. I would have to say definitely. Wow, I'm blanking right now. Sorry. Brain fart. Sorry, 1 second.
It's fine.
Proactivity. There it is. Proactivity.
Can you explain me why?
Sure. So I've always really had a problem with kind of rushing things and not doing things the way they were supposed to do. And I really found through SCVi that proactivity can really make my life so much better and make all the work that I do so much more meaningful. So even this leadership notebook and artifact as an example, I have so much more emotion towards it now that I was proactive and put all that work in beforehand. And now I feel like I really have something to show for myself. So, yeah.
Thank you, Aiden.
Huh?
Thank you.
I guess my question would be this. You took us through the process of the project once you landed there, but there was a lot of other things that happened prior. Could you go through the things that you had to do and the kinds of skills you needed prior to the actual landing in Puerto Rico?
So one skill that I needed was gift wrapping.
I remember that.
No, so there was a lot of hard work days, some maybe even harder than some of the days in Puerto Rico beforehand. We had to raise money for our own trips. So that was either gift wrapping or selling different things like chocolates and whatnot. So we would kind of stand in front of different stores that we got permits for. So that was like, we stood in front of the Walmart in Stevenson's Ranch and then Ralph's on Copper Hill. And it was pouring rain. It was like 45 degrees and we're sitting there wrapping gifts. And yeah, so that was kind of the things that we had to do prior to work up to the trip.
What do you think is your biggest challenge next year going forth to college?
Ooh, how much time do you have?
You have some time.
Um,
Started early, so you have time.
I think that definitely kind of slacking on my work is easily the biggest thing, because like I said, productivity it's always been a good strength, but also it's always been a challenge for me, because I really always kind of have, even to this day, I still battle with that kind of risk over reward, right? Oh, I have a homework assignment due, I'll just push it off. And then, I'll go have fun and then I'll do it later. And so especially now that I'm kind of going to be put into the real world, I'm going to have a job, bills to pay, school to work on, and assignments to turn in. I think that really that is going to be the biggest challenge for me going into my first year of college.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, my darlings? I think you did a very thorough job. I'm going to throw you in the breakout room. Is it still open from before? Yes, it is. And we'll be right back with you.
Thank you. Hi there.
Welcome back, Aiden. How are you?
Good. Nervous, but.
So your wows were the organization of your presentation. We like the Prezi. You did a really good job. I love that your artifact was at the bottom of the iceberg. Good reflection on the skills you're going to need on the future. Our wonder is, would you consider incorporating a service trip or going on something like that again, or service work in your future?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. Like it was one of those things where you don't really realize I didn't really realize how much it did for me until maybe a year after, and I started kind of really thinking about it. And I mean, that trip was just so spectacular, and I've wanted to go on one. I've been waiting for them to do another trip, the Backpacks Full of Hope one, but we never got to it because of COVID. But absolutely, it's funny that you say that, because GCU does service trips, and I've already signed up for a couple to like put my name in a raffle for them. So I'm definitely interested in doing that.
That's awesome. So under mastery of knowledge, what do you know? We think you definitely demonstrated proficiency, detailed content knowledge, appropriate and consistent evidence, and related the knowledge to the explanation of the world around them. You were just saying you learned so much of it. I think that one way you would have been advanced is if you talked a little bit more of some of the other things. Like if you incorporated some of your other experiences and went more in depth there, then it would have been advanced. But proficient is awesome. Application of knowledge, we were between proficiency. I didn't put my X in here. Let me put my X in here. I feel better when there's an X in there. Capital X. You're right here, PA. Clearly connecting and applying learning from one area of studies to another, and you thoroughly demonstrated your evidence. I love you incorporating pictures, and you told us about what you were doing in those photos. That was awesome. Metacognition, you're proficient, recognized and discussed your group, honestly acknowledge areas in the future. Your answer to the second question was what put you over the top on that one, like get into the proficiency. It was really reflective.
Thank you.
As for presentations, we really loved your presentation. Here's another place where Senna forgot the X. So you're here. Isn't that weird that I didn't color all of it? I have to color all of it. I have to color all of it purple or Nielsen will get me later. Sorry.
It's okay.
Today's color is purple. We just think that we loved your presentation. You came dressed. It was very well done. It was a nice
Thank you.
conversation. Thank you.
Oh,
And your answers, again, we have another between proficiency and advanced. So this is where you get to see this live because I forgot to ask. Usually I ask everyone. Does Aiden pass his, because we all have to agree that Aiden, like no one can say no. Does Aiden pass his senior defense? Yes, he does. Congratulations.
wait, Becker didn't answer yet. Becker didn't answer yet.
Becker didn't answer. You could have said no, Becker.
I could have, but then Aiden was the only one who stuck up for me. So yeah, he passes.
Congratulations, you passed your senior defense.
Thank you so much.
There are classes. I do have classes next week. I hope to see you there because then we can catch up on a little the extraneous stuff just to make sure you get everything that you need done.
Sure.
But for all intents and purposes, we are completed with your senior work.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I also checked today's agenda. There were some things you have to address as a senior.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good job, bud.
Bye.
Bye. So it's okay, record. This is your senior, welcome to your senior defense. This is your panel of evaluators. I know you were afraid to get us, but this is what you've gotten. We have Kevin, Ben, Ms. Cedeno, myself, all facilitators you've had in your past. And so your job today is to take us through an artifact that showcases that you're ready to graduate and let us know a little bit about yourself and your future plans. You have 10 minutes to do that. For 5 minutes, we will ask you some clarifying questions. Then we'll send you off into a breakout room while we just discuss everything about you. No, we will evaluate you, okay? And then we'll bring you back and give you some feedback.
Okay.
Do you have any questions before we begin?
No.
I'm going to spotlight you and meet myself, and you can share whenever you're ready.
All right. Okay, so this is my senior defense. Hi, I'm Miles. I'm 18 years old, and I've been going to SCVi since 8th grade. I'm very passionate about the arts. I love to draw, write, and act, and anytime I'm given the opportunity to be creative in my work, I really flourish. I also have a lot of creative individual projects that I work on in my free time. In the future, I'd like to enter a career in animation. I'd both like to work as an artist or a storyteller. If I ever get the opportunity to have my own show, I would love that. I also enjoy making comics, so to be able to tell my own stories in the form of a graphic novel is also a plan of mine. And I'm already signed on to an agency to get a comic of mine published sometime this year. My student artifact is my 10th grade personal project. For the personal project, we were asked to create a project around something that we're passionate about, so I decided to make an animation for mine. I both had to learn the task at hand, how to make an animation, and how to set a goal and really stick to it, since the personal project lasted a year, and you really had to commit to it in order to get it done and make it look good. This is the video, but I'm pretty sure everyone's seen it. No. The steps I took, I first had to come up with an idea, which was that I wanted to do animation. It was really like just choosing something art related to do. And then I had to find a mentor. And for my mentors, I got to work with 2 people that work in the industry and one of them that works at CalArts. So that was nice. Then I had to figure out what the animation story would be about. And that was a little bit difficult for me, but my mentors really helped me like find the right idea. And then I had to create a storyboard and sketches on paper, then turn those sketches into something digital, then clean up all the digital sketches and connect the movements to make it animated, and then add color and music. And then I was done and I could present at the personal project presentation. Then these are some of my rough sketches. I believe that the learning outcome that I demonstrated was growth mindset. I think that I demonstrated this because this project has really helped me grow. And I think growth mindset means having the dedication and putting in the work to come out better than you were before. And I always hope to have a growth mindset going into whatever I do, whether it's art or any of my classes. I always hope to end up stronger than I was before. And I knew by doing this project, I would grow as an artist, which is something I always want to do. Since doing this project, I feel more confident in my abilities as a storyteller and an artist. Now, if I ever wanted to create an animated story again, I know I'll be able to do it. I also believe I demonstrated purpose. My purpose in this project was to make an animation because that's what I wanted to go into. And honestly, art is a purpose that drives me along every day. Without art, I would lack that same purpose. Art inspires me, both my own art and the art of other people, and it gives me purpose to help me grow and to accomplish what I want to accomplish. Since 10th grade, I've grown a lot as an artist. I've learned new things and my art style has grown a lot. I consider myself a way better artist and storyteller than I was back then. But I know that the personal project was a part of this. Thanks to the skills I've learned, I believe I was able to incorporate a lot of them into everything I do now. I worked with mentors who helped me guide through this process. They helped me flesh out my story ideas and gave me notes on every step. They looked at my story, my storyboards, and then the roughs, and really helped me finish the animation. And so that really helped me improve art-wise and storytelling-wise. And I still use that knowledge when approaching my projects now. A lot of the skills needed to visually tell a story can also be used when telling stories in film or comics. And in animation and art, you also have to exaggerate movements and expressions, which I feel like that knowledge can also help with acting, knowing how to push your performance just as much as you push the poses in art. And also I had to learn how to really like dedicate myself to the project and stay on top of my work, because you'd think it's a like year-long project, you have the time, but really you have to stay on top of it to like get it done and make it look as nice as possible. So meeting up with my mentors every 2 weeks helped me like stay on top of things. And it really helped me learn that like I need that kind of structure to make sure I don't procrastinate too much and really get things done. This is my art now versus the one before was previously. Going forward after high school, I'd really like to go into animation, as I've said plenty of times before, or at least be a creative storyteller in some form, whether that be by having my own show or being a comic artist. I believe that this project helped me towards that goal in a lot of ways. Not only did I learn what it takes to make my own animated short film, but I also got to work with industry professionals that helped me exponentially with understanding the process of making something like this. It's allowed me to see that to make something ambitious like this takes time and effort. So now going forward, I know that I must be dedicated in order to achieve what I want to achieve. In my years since the personal project, I've already been using the skills I learned. I currently make webcomics, and I believe a lot of the skills and knowledge I acquired from the personal project have helped me become a better writer and artist when making my comics. It's kind of a one-man show when you do graphic novels and webcomics and stuff, because you're doing everything from backgrounds to characters to story. So really learning how to visually tell a story through animation has helped me do the same when visually telling a story through comics. And I think I'm better at coming up with original stories as well. When doing this project, I had a hard time coming up with this story. I was more focused at the time on doing like a lot of fan art and fan stories and stuff. So recently I've delved more into like my own original works. And so I think that coming up with something personal to me helped me realize that I could make something personal to me in other ways. And looking back, some challenges I had was coming up with story ideas, procrastination, managing my time, and learning a new program. When I had to look at my journal that we wrote during this project, I found a lot about myself not having the motivation. But like I said, having the weekly meetups with my mentors helped me stay on top of things. And then some strengths of mine were drawing. I was really in my element doing this project because I like to draw. And that was the best thing about the personal project, was that you really just got to do something you like to do. And then telling a story from my experience. My story was all about my dealings with depression. So it was something very personal to me, and you kind of like just get to like let it all out artistically. And I like doing that. And once again, visual storytelling. I'm a pretty good visual storyteller, and I think that it helped me improve even if I wasn't a visual storyteller. So I really liked being able to do that. And these are some pictures from my personal project, like some notes from my mentors, and then more rough storyboards. And that's it. Thank you all for listening to my presentation.
You are mute, Senna.
I lost everything. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Miles. We'll do our questions right here. Miles has me in class, so Miles knows I have technical difficulties every once in a while. That was well constructed. I guess one of my questions would be, as you go forward in a career like this, and you've already have an agent, like you stated, what do you think is so that's your next steps, is to pursue this career. What do you think is going to be your biggest challenge in doing that next year?
I think just getting myself to go out and try to do things, because a lot of the opportunities that have come my way have been like just come to me. Like the agent was because it's my dad's agent, so it was like a lot easier. So I think getting myself to actually like apply for things and go out there instead of like waiting for the opportunities to come my way. So yeah.
Any other questions?
Yes, Miles. Hi.
Or hi.
What would you share to the underclassmen about your experience with the Senior Defense?
I think I'd share that it can seem really stressful, but it's not too bad. I think it's fine. And I mean, I don't really have too much of a hard time with presentations, but just not to stress out about it, and just to be like, find something you're passionate about and really like let those passions shine through, so then it looks like you're really prepared.
What did you learn about yourself when you did it?
I learned that like when I do enjoy something, I really do like doing it. I like talking about myself sometimes too, so being able to like explain why I think I'm ready, because I do think I am ready to go forward in my life and stuff, and to like show what I've done in my high school life, and that I'm proud of everything I've done, and that I think that I'm going to keep doing better going forward.
Okay, any other questions? I think you did a really thorough job. I just love all those animations. That was just awesome. I'm going to put you in your breakout room. Assign. I can't put people in breakout rooms without talking it through. I can't do it silently, I must say. There you go. We'll go with the kudos and wonders first, right? Wows. Our wows is just, we went back into, like, you really went back and you dug deeply into your 10th grade project and got evidence. You're one of the few who've done that when you presented the 10th grade personal project. Most just do it from the top of their head. So kudos. The quality of the animation and the growth that we saw, and just the organization of the presentation, how it incorporated all those drawings, that was such a great way to end this week. I have to tell you, like, you know, it was awesome. We wonder how you'll find different ways to continue to grow in this field, and in what ways, like who you will seek out to help you through this process. We're pretty impressed. You have like landed an agent. That's amazing. So yeah, we basically think the whole presentation was advanced in every aspect. You not only hit everything you were supposed to hit, but you did it in a wonderful, special way. But that's what you've done all year. But before I go there, I just want to let you know you passed. We thought about saying no, you had to redo, just so we could see what you would do with that, you know. But no, you
We almost failed you for like a full year just because we didn't want to let you go.
We don't know what it would be like without your art in our life, but our lives. And I'm going to stop sharing there, so I can see you more fully. It's just been a pleasure getting to know you. I think that one of the things that I've appreciated and I've learned and grown from is just how you've taken some of the assignments and you've made them your own through your art, and you've envisioned things that I would have never thought to envision. Particularly, I think back to the Get Lit poem that just I just sat there and I wanted to sob the whole time. It was so well done. It's just, I even shared that with Get Lit and they were like, holy cow. So that was wonderful. I think you have, here's what I think, you have the qualities of being successful because you know who you are, you know what you love, and you incorporate that into your life daily. And some people don't discover that until they're like my age. So I'm very excited about the things that life has in store for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
We will
Yeah,
miss you.
I think I almost made everyone cry, so they're just taking a moment to pause.
For me too, like, you know, with IB, the IA just dangling over people kind of makes them not want to do IB classes. And you even talked to me about it, like, you know, it's being stressful and stuff and wanted to modify it, but you ended up just doing a real historical paper and like push through all, like, those are the things I'll remember about you. Like, you definitely go above and beyond on most assignments. Like, you communicate well, you keep up, and you're just a real nice person to have in the class.
You're the kind of person that the world needs, honestly. Like, talented, driven, but overall just so kind and so understanding and so gentle and hardworking. Like, I'm glad the world is lucky that we have you in it, Miles, and I hope that you know that.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I didn't have you in my class, but I had you in my swim team. And you never gave up. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I can't think of a better way to end a Friday. I'll take the win. This was a win. Congratulations. You're graduating. And it's all like, what is it? Icing right now.
Downhill from here. It's all, no.
No, it's not downhill. I was going to say downhill, but yeah.
There's a negative connotation. That's not what we want.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miles, it's all downhill from here.
All downhill.
Oh, Ben, just steering into the skid. Thank you, Miles. Have a good weekend.
Have a nice weekend.
Bye, Miles. Congrats.